Welcome back. This deck is called Dimension Fusion in Darkness. It revolves around banishing dark attribute monsters from our grave and mass summon them back to the field with Dimension Fusion. Our main beatsticks include one Dark Magician of Chaos, Demog. On some, we may recycle one spell card from our grave, and whenever he destroys opposing monsters, they, instead of moving to the grave, get banished. So we want to utilize Dimension Fusion before we beat down the opponents with Demog. Otherwise, there is a conflicting strategy when Demog fills the opposing banish pile with monsters that the opponent may summon thanks to our Dimension Fusion. So one copy of Demog. Then our next boss monster is the iconic Ghost Rare Dark Magician, of whom we play 3 copies. We bring him out either via the long route through Dimension Fusion shenanigans, or we can tribute some Demog, Dark Magician, with the help of one copy of Double Coston. Double Coston fulfills the requirement of 2 tributes for the sum of a Dark level 7 or higher monster on his own alone. So we may also tribute some Demog with one single Double Coston. We want to see Dark Magician as early as possible in order to make use of Dark Magic Attack. Nuking the entire roster of spell and trap cards on the opponent's side of the field at once. That's why I maxed out on Dark Magic Attack. Its activation requirement is having Dark Magician on our side of the field. Now onto the discard lineup, so we can fill our grave with Dark Attribute resources. I opted to play one Morphing Jar, one Tribe-Infecting Virus, one Lightening Vortex, and 2 copies of Raigeki Break, all of which make us discard at least 1 card, with the exception of Morphing Jar, that lets us discard our entire hands, and after that we draw 5 cards, regardless of how many cards we discarded beforehand. Assuming we have gathered a couple of monsters in our grave, we may use one of the following 7 cards to banish them. First of all, I play Bazoo the Soul-Eater. He lets us banish up to 3 monsters from our grave, and thereby temporarily raises his attack stats by 300 points per banished monster until the end of our opponent's next turn. Utilizing Strike Ninja is the second way of banishing our monsters from our grave. He only works in conjunction with dark attributes, and we may, whenever we so desire, as a quick effect, banish him until the next end phase by simply banishing 2 dark monsters from our grave. Last but not least, we can banish one of our dark attribute monsters in 1 copy of Thunder Dragon to bring forth the almighty Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. Next up are, of course, the maximum number of copies of Dimension Fusion. Which by paying 2000 life points makes both players return as many monsters from their respective banished pile to their respective side of the field. The field spell Mystic's Plasma Zone increases all dark attribute monsters' attack by 500 points, yet decreases their defense by 400 points. I also maxed out on this field spell as well, for we play so many dark monsters that benefit from it. The last monster I choose to include is Breaker the Magical Warrior. Since we already have Breaker and 3 copies of Dark Magic Attack for spell and trap removal, I refrain from playing Mystical Space Typhoon and only play the 1 copy of Heavy Storm. Other staple spells and traps include Premature Burial, Snatch Steal, Ring of Destruction, Mirror Force, and last but not least the Trinity being Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and Delinquent Duo. That's it for this deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, your Retro Expert.